Chinese medical specialists for Dominica's new national hospital under a new cooperation agreement. The NO's office reassures Salisbury farmers they are not in danger of losing EU funding for farm access roads, and local government practitioners to play a key role in implementing sustainable development goals at the community level. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details after this. First up, a new medical cooperation agreement between the government of Dominica and the People's Republic of China will put Dominica in a position to receive a Chinese medical specialist at its Princess Margaret Hospital. A 4-member Chinese medical team is expected here in September for 6 months in the first instance. Dominica will welcome more medical specialists from China on a rotation basis. An agreement for the protocol of the Chinese mission was signed on Wednesday. Health Minister Dr. Kenneth Daru says the Chinese medical specialists will also strengthen capacity at the new hospital.
Under this agreement, the support of the Chinese government will complement the significant infrastructural development of the new national hospital and will provide specialized services in the areas such as medical oncology, general surgery, cardiovascular medicine, and ophthalmology. These are all critical areas of specialization required in our health system.
Daru says the Chinese will work alongside local medical staff at major departments at the PMH in clinical exchange and training.
This is also part of our effort in ensuring that we have had a trained human resource for this new facility, and is therefore very, very critical. Again, this is another area, Ambassador, to which we are grateful to your government and people. Currently, we have a number of our young people studying medicine in China. In fact, I think the first set will have returned and will be doing their internship as we speak. And they will be returning and have returned to strengthen our staff at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
In related news, Chinese ambassador to Dominica has assured his government's commitment to boost the healthcare service at the new national hospital. The ambassador says the Chinese government has attached great significance to the medical cooperation with Dominica.
But in the past 6 years, the Chinese government already sent several Chinese medical specialists working in Dominica. And I think after the completion of the new national hospital, we will also continue to send more Chinese medical specialists to working in Dominica, including in the new national hospital.
His Excellency says there are medical experts in China who are experienced in dealing with all kinds of diseases.
After their arrival, I hope that these Chinese medical specialists will be very, very good received by some authorities in the Dominic, especially the Ministry of Health and the Environment. And also, I sincerely hope that such kind of cooperation in the medical areas will further strengthen.
In other news, Member of Parliament for Salisbury, Honourable Hector John, says he is hoping that his constituency will not lose critical EU funding for farm access roads. John says his concern is that the delay on the execution of that road project could cost Dominica the unused portion of the funds, as is usually the case when EU-funded projects are not executed according to the stipulated timeline. Recently, Prime Minister Skerrit, accompanied by a delegation, toured the affected area, and John says he welcomes that move. But he says the contract was signed in June 2016, with completion expected by June this year, a deadline which he says will not be met.
The NAO, that is Ms. Carlin Roberts, gave us the assurance that they have asked for extra time, but the EU asked them to make some information available, and we are hoping that we get the extra time. We are now going into the rainy season, so only have almost 12 miles of road to address. We are hoping that the visit by the Prime Minister, the Minister of Public Works, Minister of Agriculture, the NAO, the contractor's representative, the engineer, and everybody else can appreciate the concerns of the farmers of Salisbury and do their best as a collective to ensure that we get that road completed. We are not asking for too much. We are just asking access to our farms for us to become productive. Our quality and quantity has been compromised by the poor farm roads. And if we get that addressed, you will see an improvement in our quality and an improvement in also in our quantity. And that is what you like to see, because you want the farmers to produce. And you want, as a government, to be able to see that your farmers are producing and they're providing markets for them. But if they're handicapped by not having access to their farms, you have a problem.
John says as MP for the area, he's not only concerned but disappointed with the way a project of this magnitude has been handled.
I told them I'd help them mobilize the farmers. And these are type of things you like to see you work as a team, not because it's the government and the opposition, but at the end of the day, is for the betterment of the country. And as a member of the opposition, I am willing to work with any government that is there, that is working in the best interests of my people, not only the people of Salisbury, Consultation, and Montrachet, but the people of Dominica. And I think we have to begin to move beyond the blue, red, the orange, move beyond political parties, but look at Dominica as a whole, to begin to see that kind of development that we want. Because in every other country most of the other countries around the world, elections is maybe for a 6-week cycle, or sometimes maybe even less than that, and that's it, and they move on.
Meantime, National Authorizing Officer Colleen Roberts was part of a delegation accompanying the Prime Minister and the Minister for Agriculture on a recent visit to farm access roads in Salisbury. Ms. Roberts took the opportunity there to address concerns that delays on the farm access road could cost Dominica the balance of the funds.
The contractor had given a program of works, and we had estimated by July, August last year, works would have begun on Salisbury Road. That did not happen. So there has been a delay in terms of the implementation of works. That said, we have already notified the European Union that the works have been delayed, and so it will affect the end date. And so all those who feel that the monies would be lost and the 23rd of June 2017 is the absolute last date, that is not true. The European Union has already given their commitment that they will consider a time extension when all the appropriate documentation has been submitted to them. So yes, we admit that the works did not go as we had expected by the contractor, but we are able and willing to support the extension of the contract.
The Prime Minister has himself brushed aside any suggestion that the farm access roads in Salisbury were not taken seriously enough, saying his very visit proves the opposite.
These things are funds from the European Union. They have to be done in a particular way. For example, the point that Mr. Cogbert Vidal raised about the several times you've seen people come to measure on the map.
10 times.
You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are requirements from the European Union. You send the documents to them, they want more specifications, the engineer to come. So even when the Ministry of Public Works does it itself, the EU still has to engage an independent firm to come in to do it again. And then the Ministry of Public Works have to validate it, so they have to come back to ensure that that which the consultant did is correct, so that they can both reconcile and so forth. Then the contractors now, the people who are tendering, who are bidding for the project, have to come themselves, different companies, to do their own measurements to see what is on paper is what actually on the field. So there's a whole process in those things and so forth.
By that time they might finish.
Well, no, you're finished. No, the point is, I mean, as we've said publicly many times, I mean, the European Union has been for the last, I mean, since our independence, our biggest partner in our economic and social advancement. But they have a particular process, which is very, very cumbersome and very bureaucratic. And we say so publicly all the time in them in our discussions with them. But that's how they are. You can either follow their bureaucratic processes or tell them, boss man, hold your money and we'll do otherwise. But in our case, you really cannot do otherwise because it's good money you get in as grants. So that's why you'll have seen in the budgets for 3-4 budgets, the farmers coming on board, coming on the budget. It has nothing to do with the government delaying the project or anything, just the process you have to go through.
On the issue of who gets hired or whose equipment is utilized on EU projects, the Prime Minister says government has no say in that matter. The Prime Minister says the majority of the €8 million given by the EU goes to complete farm access roads across the country. And a team of current and aspiring business owners in the Soufriere constituency are looking forward to implementing the skills and knowledge they acquired during a 2-day intensive training program. That training in small business is made possible through the Ministry of Commerce, Enterprise and Small Business Development.
You have a pretty good heads-on knowledge about running a business, but you can never be too knowledgeable when it comes to business. And so we have a responsibility to ensure that we give you the requisite skills, the requisite training, the requisite exposure to enable you to be better and more successful. All of this is geared at ensuring that your business is sustainable. And by sustainable, I mean when you start today, you can pass on a business to your children. That is sustainability.
I learned how to invest in my business, maintain my Kako business, and I take note on saving. So I'd like to say thank you very much. And now we will go out in that supermarket, look out for K&S Kako sticks.
The exercises that we did taught us a lot about life and about business on a whole. Because yes, we could be planning ahead and everything could be going nice, and then just like the card of life, something happened and we have to take out money from the business to pay something else, which sets us back a little bit. But besides that, we'd just like to say thank you, and we learned a lot and we will put it to practice.
I have learned quite a lot for the 2 days of the program. It will help me further my business and how to keep records and savings. I would like to say thank you to Mrs. Labads once more and to Mr. Stevenson for an educational talk. Thank you everyone, and thanks to the government of Dominica.
I hope that the resources that we've left with you, you will continue to go back and reconnect. We have given you those packs for a reason. Please don't let their beautiful packs, don't let them sit on your shelves collecting dust. Every now and then dust it off and go back looking at the important principles, financial principles, ensuring that you save money for a rainy day, ensuring that you understand that time waits for no man, looking at risk and its commensuration with reward, and really going back through the materials.
Your Dominica Labor Administration has been so prudent in the management of our small economy that we can invest more in you to set you on a path to stop dreaming but start making your dreams a reality. Never in our history have we had a government that invested so much in its people, so you can have a better life for yourself and your family. So I encourage you that when you have set your goals, bring them before the Lord so He can establish them. When you encounter challenges, don't quit. Keep your eyes fixed on your plans and work diligently towards your goals.
You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the launch of a climate change awareness campaign in Dominica. Thank you for staying with us. A mission to use local government practitioners to implement sustainable development goals at the community level is being pushed. A national consultation hosted by the Department of Local Government and Community Development and the Dominica Association of Local Community Authorities on Wednesday served as a platform for this.
The mission there is that sometimes you hear of things via the media. You hear of SDGs, yes, the United Nations took a decision and there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals. But what does it mean to you? So what we're trying to do, the term is to localize them make sense to you within your community setting, and see how, as a collective, we can do something about them.
The SDGs speaks to addressing critical sustainability issues such as poverty, climate change, inequality, and economic development.
For example, the first one, which is the end to poverty. We know there are pockets of poverty around us, and some persons are less fortunate. So what it is that you can do within your community to elevate, to ensure that we have better living conditions for all. And basically that's what it is. If you go to those that relate to the environment and climate change, how do you adapt? What are the strategies that you put in place to adapt and to make things happen? Because life must go on. The climate is changing and you and I can't stop that, but we have to create means and ways to live while these changes are taking place.
Dominica is next in line for the launching of a region-wide climate change awareness campaign. Andrea Louis has more.
The disclosure was made by project manager of the Japan Caribbean Climate Change Project, JCCCP, Yoko Ebisawa, during an interview with Channel 5 News. The Feel the Change campaign, which aims to bring greater knowledge and understanding of the effects of climate change in a particular country, was launched in Belize in April following a knowledge, attitude and practices survey. Dominica has been earmarked as the country next in line for this campaign launching.
Based on that CAP study, we developed the communication strategies. And then at the very beginning of the workshop, we had this launch of the communication campaign for Belize. Belize is the first country to start the communication campaign. We will start in another country later. I think next one will be Dominica. I think it's within 2-3 months.
Another way in which the UNDP, through the JCCCP, is helping Dominica in its climate change adaptation efforts is through the construction of a proper hurricane shelter in at least one West Coast community.
We are preparing for the community level project. One of them is that community center at the Mount Ratchet. They said that they have used that community center as a shelter during the time of the tropical storm Erika, but the facility was not designed as a shelter. Originally, it was not designated as a shelter, that's what I heard, but then it's the twin village. But that village shelter was affected for the storm. So then they moved to that shelter. But then the facility, just for example, there's only 2 toilets. And then you have to go outside and terrace, and then all the wind's coming, yeah? So it's not suitable. So one of the projects is to rehabilitate the community centers.
The JCCCP was launched in January 2016 with a US $15 million budget, and Ebisawa says though a number of projects have been carried out thus far, it has not been financially taxing on the organization.
It's not that much yet. And then one of the reasons that we do not spend that much is we always partner with other organizations. Other workshop, like we done, for example, National Adaptation Plan related workshop, the regional level. Also, we work with another agency. It's called the NAP Global Network, which is funded by the US and Germany. So we work with them and we cost share with that. So then we don't have to do everything, but we have increased the synergies for the outcomes.
The JCCCP operates in 8 Caribbean countries, namely Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Suriname. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And that's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
Cricket takes the first knock. Pakistan ended day 1 of the 3rd test against West Indies in a dominant position, scoring 169 for 2 in a rain-affected match. Azhar Ali had an unbeaten 85 with 55 from Babar Azam. Yunus Khan finished the day on 10 not out and Shan Masood 9. Bowling for West Indies, we had Roston Chase with 1 for 27 and Alzari Joseph 1 for 39. Next up, parliamentary representative for the Salisbury constituency, Honorable Hector John, is calling on Dominicans to support the West Indies versus Pakistan test this week. Previously, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit shared similar sentiments at the Labour Party rally in Portsmouth.
I would like Dominicans to go out and support the cricket. Dominica match, the last match, is an interesting match because you have the teams tie at 1-1. And we saw a batsman coming through. One disappointment I have, though, the team remained the same. I thought they would bring in Ambrose, who have been scoring a lot of runs. He plays for the Windwards, and I thought he would have gotten a call this time. Just like last year, we had the disappointment with Tyrone Theophile and never got the call to the team. But we just want to go out there and support West Indies, support cricket, ensure that you bring your family along. You know, I think it's a good family atmosphere. Dominica, as they say, is the new venue for cricket around the world for Test cricket. And so we'd like people to go out there and give the support to Dominica Cricket Association, give the support to Dominica and the West Indies team, because I am in. We are all in, right? I am in as well.
Sports continues with football, where defending champions New India Goodwill Runners head the points table of the Dominic Women's League with 3 wins and no losses as we approach the end of round 1 of that competition.
With all teams having completed the allotment of matches, defending champions New India Goodwill Runners head the points table with 11 points with 3 wins and 2 draws. New Generation Sports Club and Mahosuka Strikettes are tied on 10 points, with both teams registering 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. But with a better goal difference, New Generation will occupy the 2nd place and Suka Strikettes on 3rd place. Dive Dominica Harlem United with 9 points will sit in the 4th position, with Bomber Starlights 5th on 3 points and West Coast Jaguars in the cellar position on 0 points. The battle is also tight for most goals, as Romelcia Phillip of Goodwill Runners is in the lead with 10 goals, followed by her teammate Cassandra Del Sol with 9 goals. Cassica Samuel, also of the reigning champs, is tied with Alija Tit of Dive Dominica Harlem United on 8 goals. The 2nd round will commence next weekend.
Back with more cricket, West Indies women's squad for the World Cup carded for England later this year features 4 new faces, including 16-year-old fast bowler Kiana Joseph. The 3 other newcomers include 19-year-old wicketkeeper batsman Renice Boyce, 23-year-old all-rounder Akira Peters, and 25-year-old opening batsman Felicia Walters. The full squad reads Stephanie Taylor, captain, Marissa Aguilera, Renice Boyce, Shamilia Connell, Chanel Daly, Deandra Dottin, Afi Fletcher, Kiana Joseph, Kishonna Knight, Haley Matthews, Anissa Mohammed, Shadeen Nathan, Akira Peters, Shakira Selman, and Felicia Walters. West Indies play their first match against Australia on June 26. They are one of 8 teams in the tournament alongside Australia, England, New Zealand, India, South Africa, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. The Women's World Cup runs from June 24 to July 23. Next up in sports, one national fencer has qualified for the Central American and Caribbean Fencing Games following Dominica's participation in the qualifying round in Puerto Rico recently. Dominica Fencing Association's Assistant Secretary Treasurer Marlon Hillier says although the team did not qualify for the event, he is happy to have done his part for his country.
The Dominican team left for Puerto Rico for the qualifying tournament. We had some injuries before the tournament, so 2 of our members were actually not able to travel initially with us. So 2 members, myself and Linvo Ambo, we went out there. We had a little bit of difficulty in terms of getting our equipment. We really got our equipment about 12 hours before the competition, so that affected us a little bit. But when we actually did compete, it was very good and interesting. We went up against world-class fencers as well as Olympians, and we were able to hold our own. And we actually surprised the tournament officials to see how well we did in that the 2 fencers from Dominica only has less than an entire year together in fencing. I have 4 months, the other athlete has 7 months. Despite that, I was able to qualify for the big games next year in Colombia.
He says he hopes that Dominica's recent progress on the international fencing scene will serve as the impetus for the sport locally.
Just the mere fact that we were able to competitively fence against, Olympians is something that we need to be proud of. And I'm hoping that, the fencers that we have here, we've lit a fire in them so that they can see they can achieve anything if they really put their minds to it. And we were able to hold our own against Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, we did not qualify for the team event, but for the first 4 of 9 bouts, we were just on par with Puerto Rico, the hometown team. And the tournament officials were very much surprised because our final result was better than a lot of the other countries who have been fencing for quite a while. This is the very first time that we have a fencer qualifying for a major tournament. The games, it's really our region's Olympics or version of Olympics. It's held every 4 years for Central America and the Caribbean, and we're very proud of this achievement, and we're hoping to see better results and moving forward. I have a year to train for these games, and I'm hoping that I can do Dominica proud.
That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
We now check in with the Met Office for the latest weather update.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janet Macpherson. Infrared satellite imagery today showed this area of multi-layered clouds associated with a trough system. Visible satellite imagery showed cloudy to overcast skies across Dominica today. Radar imagery indicated shower activity mainly across the central portion of the region. The weather for tonight: cloudy with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. These conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow, with temperatures peaking up to 28 degrees Celsius. Seas tomorrow, moderate in open water, waves peaking up to 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers are advised to exercise caution. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, a trough system and a tropical wave Thursday into Friday will generate showers and possible isolated thunderstorms across the island. Persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks are advised to exercise caution. Flash flooding is possible. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms are expected. On the international cities forecast, partly cloudy skies expected in New York, clear skies in Miami and Beijing, some rain expected in London, and thunderstorm activity in Caracas. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:37 a.m. and sunset at 6:26 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please call our weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit our website at weather.gov.dm. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
And to end the news, the headlines again. Chinese medical specialists for Dominica's new national hospital under a new cooperation agreement. The NAO's office reassures Salisbury farmers they are not in danger of losing EU funding for farm access roads. And local government practitioners to play a key role in implementing sustainable development goals at the community level. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can access the news on YouTube. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.